All right. Hey, everybody. Dan Fitzpatrick here, stockmarketmentor.com. I'm going to go over Nvidia today. And the reason is because, and we've had just some monster trades on this. I'm still going, but today was a day to be taking partial profits. The stock hit 140, ran through it just a little bit, but basically like 140 is the key level here. It's a level that I had mentioned to Kramer just last week. He covered it last Wednesday, that my target for a rest phase is 140, because in the past, I'm not going to be drawing lines here, but in the past, the stock has had runs of like 47% above the 50-day moving average before it ultimately took a rest. And so that's what I'm kind of looking at. That's what I'm kind of looking at here. So we're at that point now where it's just kind of time for the stock to be resting a little bit. I don't think it's, not by any means do I think it's done going up. The weekly chart looks monstrous. I still think, no, I'm not going to take that call. I'm sorry about this, guys. Christ's sake. Anyway, where was I? So the bottom line is, I still think we've got a $200 price target, and I am seeing some analysts on the street, I think Rosenblatt, whatever the hell firm that is, raised a price target to 200. So nice to see you guys joining in. But I still think this is the range. However, for me, it was time to kind of take a little profit. Tomorrow is the end of the quarter. We will probably see some more buying in Nvidia because of end of quarter rebalancing on like the XLK. So that will have to bring up more buying. Nvidia is the most expensive stock in the universe right now. It's got the highest market cap and the largest market cap. So there's going to be a lot of buying that's coming in here, but at some point you really want to start kind of easing towards the exits on at least part of your position. Keep yourself in a position to win by continuing to hold some stock, but not to a point where you risk giving back a lot of your profit on a real big down day in the market, which ultimately we will have. I just think it's a fool's errand to try to predict it. A lot of people do, and they wind up playing the fool a bunch of times, but then the one time they get it right, they just want you to forget about all the stupid stuff that they've said before, and they crown themselves as the new Nostradamus. I don't know how much money Nostradamus had, but my bet is he'd have made a really, really crappy trader, because that guy was wrong a lot, like way more. It's like he's just picking stuff out of a hat and throwing it out there like a damn Chinese fortune cookie manufacturer. So don't be that guy. Just be a trader. Protect your profits. Be aggressive when it's time to be aggressive. And when you're getting paid for being aggressive, don't just continue to be more and more aggressive. This is what newbies do. This is what beginning traders do. This is why the worst thing that can happen, and I'm going to leave you with this, the worst thing that can happen for somebody who's just getting into the market, that's really new to the market, the worst thing that can happen is that they get in when there's a bubble blowing up. I'm not saying this is a bubble, but I'm not saying that it's not. The worst thing that they can do is get in when there's a bubble blowing up, because they don't even have to be smart or good in order to make a lot of money. And so they start making a lot of money, and they continue to think. And by the way, I kind of started during a situation like this, and so I know from whence I speak. They start feeling really, really confident. They start putting more and more money in. And then the first time the market basically does like what markets do, a big dose of reality comes in and absolutely whacks them. And so you don't want to be that guy. Just trade within yourself. Stay long Nvidia, but make sure that if you have some big profits, go ahead and take some off the table. And one thing, and I mentioned this morning to our members, you can be protecting your trade here on any trade in a couple different ways. First of all, of course, you could just sell it all. You could sell part of it, or you could sell part of it, or you could just hang on to all of it, but set staggered stops. Raise some, if you're saying like, crap, oh man, I really should be taking 25% off. You can say, okay, well, I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to set a stop on 25% of my position. Like, I don't know, maybe 3% below where it is right now. Pick your number. Maybe it's 5%. Just don't make it too tight. Otherwise, you might as well sell now. But you set a stop that way. And then after you've done that, then you've effectively closed that position, and you know exactly what you sold that position for, only you really didn't close that position. It's actually still open. Your downside is just protected. Now, if the stock falls and you're stopped out, that's okay. That was part of your plan. If the stock instead continues to run, well, that's awesome, because that was also part of your plan. So either way, with no matter which outcome you get, it was a good trade because it was well reasoned. It took into account the two sides of risk, the risk of loss versus the risk of missing out on profits. So if you're doing that kind of thing, I think you're going to do really, really well over time. I know you're going to do really, really well over time because that's what I've done. And I've done really, really well over time. Now, if this kind of stuff appeals to you, one thing, I'm teaching a class on Trade Track, and I'm sitting here with my leg on ice. I don't have a lot of stuff in front of me, but I know if you're getting this, you've been getting emails on Trade Track to sign up for a session that I'm holding next week. Definitely do that, because I've got some real exciting news on that. And I want to be showing you some things that you're going to look at and you're going to go like, well, crap, I wish I'd been doing this all along. I'd probably have another zero on the end of my account. And I'm talking left of the decimal, not right. So anyway, definitely watch your email for that. And guess what? That's like all I have to say. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.